Hey everyone, thanks for listening to Sex with Emily. On today's show, we're tackling your sex and dating questions and everything in between. Topics include how to find a third for your first threesome, moving your relationship from the friend zone to a for real relationship, getting started with anal sex, and so much more. Thanks everyone for listening.
Look into his eyes. They're the eyes of a man obsessed by sex. Eyes that mock our sacred institutions. Bedroom eyes, they call them in a bygone day.
Hey, Emily, you got a boyfriend? Because my man E here, he just got his heart broken. He thinks you're kind of cute.
A girl's got to have her standards. Oh, my.
Do women know about shrinkage?
Isn't it common knowledge?
What do you mean, like laundry? It shrinks?
Can we not talk about sex so much?
Are you kidding me?
Oh my God, it feels so good.
Being bad feels pretty good. But you know, Emily's not the kind of girl you just play with.
You're listening to Sex with Emily. We're talking about sex, relationships, and everything in between. For more information, go to sexwithemily.com. Thank you for subscribing on iTunes, making Sex with Emily part of your life. We love when you subscribe to the show, right, Menace? I'm here with Menace today. Menace, hi, honey.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm looking up something because
Tell me, I know he's
it's
focused.
bugging me.
Okay.
The thing is, so we had this girl on the show. I don't know.
On Sex with Emily?
Yeah, like maybe a year ago, right?
Okay.
And now I see her on TV like all the time. She was in Jurassic Park. She's part of a podcast, like a female like comedian group.
Oh, yeah.
But now she's on this HBO show that I've been watching called Crashing. And
Wild Horses. She's from the Wild Horses.
Yeah, Wild Horses.
Yes.
That's it. Yes.
It's Lauren Lapkus.
Yeah,
but she's amazing. She's so talented.
The show's great. Check it out.
Okay.
Crashing on HBO.
Right. You were on
Sorry.
that. Right.
I was just thinking about that right now as we're starting. Sorry.
Right. Exactly.
I was like, who was?
It was
what's the name of
called
that
Wild
girl?
Horse. I think it was like Sex with Wild Horses or something we called it. I don't remember
No, it was
what
like called like Wild. Yeah.
But that's the name of their comedy thing here at the Improv. But they also not the Improv at the
they had a podcast. Yeah.
Yeah, Upright Citizens Brigade, and they also have podcasts. UCB.
But I keep on seeing her on
I know
TV.
she's amazing. She's such a good actress. She was in Orange Is the New Black.
Oh, really?
She's one of the prison guards. Yeah. She's
crazy.
Awesome. Crazy. That's cool, Menace. So that's what you were doing?
Yes.
Before the show. Well, I'm just happy to see you here. And I was just getting on with telling everybody here that I love when they subscribe, when they review us, when they review us on iTunes. I mean, there's so many new podcasts now, which is amazing.
Yes.
But it helps when people subscribe to the podcast. That's what helps us so people can see our ranking on iTunes and all that. But also if you review the show, also helpful. We love
Do all that.
Yeah. And follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. It's all at Sex with Emily. And it's also Masturbation Month.
Write a nice review because if you don't, Emily gets sad.
I just said, yeah.
I have a thick skin.
If you have a bad thing to say, you can just email me. No, but you should email me anyway because we love this show. We're actually taking your calls, answering your emails. You can always email me anytime. Feedback at Sex with Emily or right straight to the website. But yeah, nice reviews, better than bad reviews. Let's just spread love, right? I'm just here to help you. That's all.
That's it.
That's why I'm here. I love it. So how is your masturbation month been going? Anything new?
It's been going great. It's how about this? Because I've been traveling a lot in masturbation month. Do you have any recommendations? I mean, other than the bullet, is there anything like that compact size out there that, if people want to change it up other than the bullet?
Yeah.
That people would want to use? Like
a clitoral vibe? Oh, yeah. I'm obsessed with the G-ring.
The G-ring? I never heard of this one.
I know.
Tell me
I'm
more.
so glad you asked.
Okay.
It goes around your finger and your finger becomes a vibrator. It looks like a ring. Like it literally does look like a ring.
You've talked about stuff like this. I didn't know it was called the G-ring.
The G-ring. Yep. You can check it out on our website, FT London. I think we sell them on our website. And it is so cool. And it's just like if you want to touch your partner newer or touch yourself, everywhere you put it, you can put it on any finger. Touch your breast, touch your partner's breast, his penis, your clitoris. It friggin' goes everywhere. Like giving your partner a little neck massage. It is so cool. I love that. That's a great one. And it's also, it's like a bullet in the sense of bullet vibes, which you're referring to. I love that you know all the names of all the different
terms.
vibrator groups.
Yes.
Very sweet. So yeah, it's like a bullet vibe, but it's even better because it like wraps around your finger and stays with you. No one even needs to know. It could be kind of fancy.
And I know
and it's a remote control for the FT London butt plug.
Oh,
FYI.
wow.
Yep.
Now I know you've brought up the bullet many times before, and I've shared the story a couple times, but we get new listeners all the time.
We do.
So a big funny bullet story is that my coworker and we lived in the same building in San Francisco, right? And she was getting a new bed, like a new mattress or something like that. So I was helping her move her mattress, and then this like metal thing dropped on the ground that had like a rubber tip on it.
Right.
And I had no idea what it was. It looked like a bullet.
Right.
And I picked it up off the ground.
Right.
And there was like a little button on the back of it, and I hit the button, and she almost died because I'm like looking at it, like trying to figure out what this thing is.
Right.
Right.
We all have those.
Yeah. And she almost died. It's a funny story that we share.
It is a funny story. That is a funny story that we share.
So I found her bullet.
I feel like that's a good story. My friend has a cock ring. It kind of looks like a Fitbit.
Yeah.
Because it's one of those sleek, I think it was, I can't remember who makes it, but I gave it to her. But it was like a really cool penis ring, and it's kind of flat, goes around the penis, but it's like very sleek. And her housekeeper picked it up and said, "Oh, is this I found your Fitbit." And thought it was a Fitbit. She was holding it. And she's like, "Oh yeah, I'll take that." But actually it was a penis ring.
Nice.
So there's a lot of like, what is this thing? That's the other thing. Vibrators have come a long way in the last 12 years. You can't even tell what they are anymore.
Yeah.
So
they're on the down low.
They're on the down low. It's awesome. I have the vibrator necklace, the vibrator. What else is a good that we could talk about that's a new fun toy this month that you don't know about? I like that we have, since Masturbation Month, we have a subscription box, and it's actually, people are loving it. And I keep, because there's so much going on in the show, I kind of forgot to mention it lately, but I love that you guys are finding on the website. It's a box you can get every quarter. And this month it's mutual masturbation, and I wrote like a mutual masturbation guide for you, so people can actually like. And it's like it's got a bunch of different things in it. Like I
told you like how many years ago to
you
do
did
this.
Emily's box. You told me. Well, now I have one. It's called Unbound Box, and it comes with like a sleeve. It comes with this bullet. I mean this G ring. It comes with lube, except for mutual masturbation.
That's
because
good.
that is sex with someone you love is masturbation, and mutual masturbation is a great way for you guys to learn about your partner when you're together. Yeah, big turn on. You should try that this month, everyone. Oh, and we're having a contest before we get into sex in the news. I would like you all you must all do this by the end of the month. If you'd like to win some special prizes, if you'd like that, we've got some things to give you. Make us happy, make you happy. Email me your favorite masturbation routine. How do you masturbate? How do you break it down? I want to know what you think about, what you do, where you're sitting, where you're standing, what you're smelling, what you're not eating. Hopefully you're not eating at that moment. But, whatever you're doing, I want to know. Email me feedback at sexwithemily.com, or just use the Ask Emily tab. That's even easier on my website. We're going to give you prizes and stuff.
All right.
I just did my Michigan accent. Prizes.
We're going
to do prizes. I just feel like doing that. You usually like my Michigan accent.
Yes, I do.
You're over it. Okay, Menace.
Yes.
So, as you know, talk about sex a lot, right?
Yeah.
And I never
All
get
the time,
tired of it. Like,
constantly.
people are like, "Oh, do you
You're
mind?"
obsessed with
I am
sex.
obsessed. But here's the thing.
Yeah.
Here's what I love about my job is that people are like, "Oh, do you ever get tired of talking about it? Do you ever feel like?" I had an Uber driver the other day who I almost married until he started talking. But at first, I got in the car and he picked me up at LAX, and I was so tired. I was just flying back. I had a really quick trip back east. He's like, I got in the car and he says, "Hi." He's like, "Would you like some water? Would you like to, do you need a charger?" Like those. And I'm like, you just filled every need that I had like in that moment. And I was so happy. I was like, yes, I'm quite thirsty. Yes, I would. And he's like, "So what do you do?" Right. And he's a cute guy. We're driving. I'm like, "Oh, I've got," and usually a lot of times I just don't talk, or I say I'm a producer, and I'm like, "Oh, I've got this, sex show, Sex with Emily." He's like, "Oh, wow, that's cool." And he's like, "Do you ever get tired of it?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Do you ever like not want to have sex because you talk about it all day?" And I was like, I thought he meant like, at first I thought he just meant like, do you get tired of talking about it? Or he said, is it ever weird for you, like when you, something like that. I thought he was asking me what most people ask me, is it weird for you to date people?
Yeah.
Because that's like the top question I get asked is, are guys intimidated to date you? Is it weird? Blah, blah. And I went off on that. He goes, no, I mean like you, like, do you ever get home and you're like, "Oh, I don't want to have sex"? And I'm like, no, I actually don't. I mean, so I talk about it all the time, but it's very different. It's like, I guess if you're a chef, right? You still want to eat, right? You're still hungry. You get home, you want to eat things. But I understand that question. But so that was kind of an annoying conversation, because then he kept saying like, "What's the weirdest story you've ever heard?" Which I actually need a better answer to that, because I don't have one. After all these years, I'm not gonna like, I don't know, maybe nothing's weird to me, or I don't really remember anything being like, "Oh my God, that's crazy." So where this is leading me to is that I realize that I'm never sick of it, having sex or talking about it. And that lately, a lot of the things that sometimes in the show, 12 years, how many thousands of episodes, I think, God, have we talked about this? Have we said it? Maybe people are tired of hearing about it. And then I realize these are questions that come up all the time. and that people have at any age, and there's still the same questions that come up today that came up 12 years ago in many sense. So there was an article that came out that's like the lies you need to stop believing, right? According to sex experts, including myself. So let me just tell you, these are like the myths, and I love debunking myths. And I found out like three of these myths came up in the last week by like adults,
really?
people I know. They're like, oh, is that true? I'm like, really? So I'm going to break them down for you guys.
Okay.
Here's myth number 1. Men should be ready to go anytime, anywhere. So I think that
That they should be ready to go?
Yes, and that women...
Are they ready to go?
That men should be ready to go. That we think that men should just be turned on and ready. And that women, when a guy's not turned on, or whoever the men's partners are like, he's not attracted to me, something's wrong. Because we expect guys are like dynamos, right?
It. Yeah.
No, but the truth is, a lot of guys have stress, they have anxiety, they're just not in the mood. That happens. So that's the first myth. That guys aren't like sex machines all the time. Just because most of the time they are. Doesn't mean all the time. Here's another myth. If you don't orgasm, it's not really sex. And that is not true. It's not true. Sex is about connecting. It's about intimacy. It's about, massage and hugging. Like that's, all of that can be intimate and can be sex even if you don't have an orgasm. Sex is oral stimulation, manual stimulation, mutual masturbation. It can be like talking dirty, reading erotica, watching porn together. Like all of this stuff can be a sex. And if you don't have an orgasm, it doesn't mean that you weren't engaging in like intimacy and sexual activities. Not necessarily the end goal.
Yeah.
Here's another one. I'm just going to pick a few of these out. This is my favorite one because I just can't.
Right.
I'm shocked that this is still shocking to people.
Okay.
Vaginal orgasms are easy to come by.
What? Are you serious?
Yeah. Like, well, you've heard, but I bet you when I first told you this 12 years ago, you're like, really? But it's probably in lots of ways changed your life. But all the time that I think that people are surprised that women don't have orgasm. In fact, most of women do not have orgasms during intercourse. We just don't. It's not easy for us. Our clitoris does not typically get aroused by the positions that we have to be in for, it's not rubbing our clitoris the same way. We need extra stimulation. We need to be turned on. We need a lot of women come through oral sex though. Where's all the oral sex happening in the world? There's not enough oral sex in the world.
I know.
So I hear from women and men, they're like, I don't understand. Guys feel like a failure if their partner can't orgasm on their penis. Who cares if it's on your penis? Who cares how it is with your hands, with your mouth, whatever? It's just not the norm, okay? Not every woman can. Here's another myth. Sex should be off the charts and hot in the beginning. It should always be amazing in the beginning. I don't think that the reason why I have a problem with this is because if it's like horrible the first month or two, you're like, oh, it's bad. You're not going to stay with someone. But sex can get better over time. The more you learn to communicate with someone and, you understand what your partner likes and what they need and chemistry, that can actually develop over time and get better. I mean, it should be good at the beginning. You should have the basic chemistry.
Yeah, I mean,
but
the
it can
first
actually get better.
one or second time, it might not be that great. But after that, you probably get in a rhythm.
Right.
Yeah,
it's true. I mean, you'll know if it's like really bad and you'll probably email me and ask me, but if it can get better, but typically it can get better over time. Here's another myth. Having used lube means you aren't really aroused.
Uh-oh.
We know the
You've
answer
been
to that.
preaching that for
I know,
years.
dude. Put that shit on my tombstone. Lube is your best friend, you guys. Lube is your BFF. Lube gets a bad rap. I don't know who was doing lube's PR when this all went down. That lube was if you're dry or there's discomfort or there's a problem or we got to bring out the lube from like under the in the attic or something. No, lube enhances orgasm for men and for women every single time and for masturbation. Those are my favorite ones. My myths.
Yeah.
I decided to debunk some myths today before we carry on. And
that's good.
Emails. Any myths you'd like to debunk? Just in general, in life.
Myths that I like to debunk.
Was there anything that you ever learned about sex that you're like, oh my God, I thought that this was true and now it's not? I don't want to put you on the spot there.
No, just just a lot of the myths that sometimes, when people overthink things, that sometimes when a guy is telling you that I've been preaching this for years. When a guy tells you something, that might be what he is saying. He is telling you the truth.
We shouldn't overanalyze and overthink
shouldn't overanalyze and think it's 5 different things.
Right. Like, what does he really mean by the fact that he'll see me later?
Tomorrow. That's what he means.
Do you know what the problem is with guys though and women? When someone says you see you later or talk to you soon, when you're at the initial stages of dating someone, I know what you're saying overall. If a guy says to you, I like you and I'd like you to be my girlfriend or whatever.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean something different. But I'm saying in general, this is a separate topic. When someone says you're in an early stage of a relationship, they're like, see you soon or see you later.
Yeah.
It's like dagger. It's like, when? Like, I just want to know, because is this going to ghost? Is this going to end? What's happening?
Yeah.
That's how I feel.
That's good.
Okay. So let's get into some calls and emails.
All
Max,
right.
I'm very excited for this. And give a shout out to our sponsors. Thanks everyone for supporting them. We love them. We love you. And we'll be right back. Okay, we have Carly. She's 46 from Washington State. And her question is this: how does a happily married couple with a great sex life and a secure relationship have a safe threesome? And how do they find a third? The threesome question.
keeps on
Hey,
coming
Carly.
up recently.
I know, right? Threesomes are back.
They're back.
Hey, Carly. I'm here with
2017.
Menace. Thanks for calling in.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. I'm so excited.
Oh, my God. We're so excited. Can't
What's
even
going
tell you.
on? What can I ask? What part of Washington you live in, if that's okay, or you don't want to give it up?
Yeah. I'm right smack dab in the middle of Washington. I fondly call it the armpit of Washington, but
All right.
Okay.
My mom lives in Spokane.
Oh.
Or Spokane. What's the proper way of saying it?
Spokane.
Spokane?
It's
Good.
Spokane.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Now I know.
Okay, good.
Even though she's lived there for like 7 years
Spokane.
now. Spokane. Got
Yeah,
it.
Spokane.
is beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, what is, can I ask what, I mean, I'm just trying to get some info. What is the population of the area that you live in? Because I'm trying to see
How to find a threesome there?
how to find a threesome. Yeah.
It's about 30,000.
Ooh. So that narrows it down.
Yeah, that does
I
narrow
see,
it down.
yeah.
So tell us what's going on with your threesome sitch. Potential.
Okay, well, so like I said, my husband and I have been married for almost 7 years. We have a great sex life, not as often as we both would like, but at least we're on the same page, and it's great when we do have it. I'd say average,
Great.
twice a week. And we have talked lots of times about having a threesome, and we started to do a little search for, somebody to join in with us, but then it was kind of like, I don't know, and the whole disease thing kind of creeps me out, and I'm like, so we don't know how to go about finding somebody to bring in with us
Right.
for the first part. And
Okay.
then when we do find somebody, I don't know if I could go down on them. I wouldn't have a problem them going down on me. But,
Of course.
how selfish is that?
No, I
no.
think a lot of women
That's
feel that
just
way. I
being
mean,
a
a lot of
human
women
being.
who've never been with no. I think because you've never been with a woman before. I'm sure a
Yeah.
lot of it. There's a lot of questions and there's a lot of things going on. And you're like, I don't know. But let's start with the first one. First of all, I think that you guys, and one of the things you asked was like, are you guys in a good place for it? And I think that you've been together a long time. What, 7, 8 years? You said you're married. And you've talked about it, and you guys have discussed like your boundaries and hey, whatever they are. Did you discuss your rules and your deal breakers, things that can happen and cannot?
Absolutely.
Okay, good. So yeah. So now it's finding a third. Now where you're living, might be harder, like in a smaller town, but also there's a lot of great websites for it right now, where you can find a third. Like if you just want to start there, you could put like both your picture on. There's one called Cassidy, Kasidie. Group Desire. Yeah, there's one called groupdesire.net. And then the one that's not on here is what's the new? I'm trying to remember the one that's Thrinder. But you told me about this last week,
it's called,
right?
So yeah, like
This is
a
the
couple
one-
episodes ago, it's called Field.
Field.
All right. I talked about it because
Yes.
some of my friends did a YouTube video on it. You got to check it out. It's youtube.com/mankim music. And click on the Valentine's Day episode.
Okay.
They have a whole video on it and like break it down on how it works. And download that app and see if there's anybody in your area that happens to be on it.
Right. I mean, there's some, there's like swingersclublist.com, FetLife, if you guys are into more kinkier things. There are just like swinger sites.
Or, if you don't want to, try this out for the first time in your own area, maybe like go to, Seattle or something where it's heavily populated. Most likely there will be more people.
thought about that.
You should.
Yeah,
I was
more people.
thinking that you should just kind of get out of your town anyway for a weekend.
Yeah.
You could start finding people, even Bumble, like even some of the regular dating apps like Tinder, they even do have things like if you're looking for a third person.
Yeah.
It's actually more common now than ever. So this is a great time to do it. And I feel like threesomes, it's always been a top question, I guess, but lately we were getting so many more of them. I just feel like, finding a third would be I think you could go there like a little bit earlier. You could start talking to someone on the phone. If you find like your prospect, right? Let's say you're going to Seattle and you guys could like FaceTime with her and see like, okay, how do we feel about it? And then meet for coffee, meet for a drink and see if you guys are both into it. And then go from there.
Or if you just want to shoot fish in a barrel, visit our old city in San Francisco and you'll be fine.
Yeah. So just be anywhere.
I'm sure flights are cheap these days.
Yeah.
You can just go
They
there.
totally are. And we thought about doing the Seattle thing. We kind of looked at some of the, sex parties that happen around there. Unfortunately, it seems like a lot of them are like on weeknights. And
Oh, really?
No, I say you go there on a weekend. Yeah. You download one of these apps like Field and
any of that.
Or there's going to be a lot of potential,
right.
hookups, partners. I don't know what you would call them.
Right. And you would and that's
candidates.
That's kind of how you do it, because I don't know if where you live you'd find people, or you go to a local sex shop if you have one, like a sex toy store that's like kind of friendly, like like the ones that are like like a pleasure test or good vibrations or like a
and also it's like if this is something you find out, we're not really into this. You can leave in Seattle and it's not hanging around your hometown.
That's the thing too. Yeah. You could just kind of experiment. You guys already have that out of town feeling, like we're on vacation and we're doing our thing.
Crazy.
Yeah, we're going crazy. Yeah. And also if you don't want to, here's the thing. You also should absolutely need to be honest that you haven't been with a woman before. I don't think you have to pretend that you know everything. And so whoever you're with, the unicorn as they call it, the third woman.
Yeah.
Just like the Starbucks drink now, right? Is that what it's called? The unicorn?
The unicorn,
right.
Correct.
Right.
Look
they
at
named
you.
it after threesome. I know. I watch TV, pop culture.
Now.
I know, dude.
It's crazy.
So what I'm saying is,
blowing my mind.
Typically the unicorn or the third woman, she might be like, "That's cool. I'm into it," or "I haven't either," or who knows. So I just think you got to be honest and don't. You might in the moment. Who knows? You might. I thought that too. I hooked up with a chick a few times. I thought I couldn't do it, and there I was doing it. You never know, and you're like, "Oh, I have one of these. I kind of know what to do." So you figure it out if you're into it, and if you're not, no pressure.
That's the thing.
What?
Yeah, I'm thinking, I know what I like.
Right.
So I would probably be good at it.
Yeah.
But can I actually do it? And, the kissing and the boobs and things, that doesn't bother me.
Right.
I'm just not so sure I can
do
oral sex on another one.
I mean, do you drink tequila? Because definitely if you have a couple of those.
Couple drinks.
Couple shots, it's going to happen.
Don't get too drunk.
I might that nice.
You're going to be all about it.
Yeah. No, I think
You're
that...
going to love it.
Don't do anything you don't want to do, but just be open to how you feel in the moment.
It's not too many
and
shots.
Be honest about where you're at. And just be yourselves. You guys will go out, you'll flirt, you'll see who you're attracted to. You could even set up a few dates if you're there for 2 nights. I would try to do some pre-screening because you only got a few nights there. But just go for it. And also protection. Use protection. You can use dental dams, stuff like that. I would definitely be safe.
I thought about that, and we know about condoms and female condoms and dental dams and things. And,
you got to bring them with you.
Weren't sure.
Absolutely. Just do it. You got to. You got to be safe. Okay,
Rubber
I want to hear how this goes. We got to know. Will you follow up?
I have one more. I have one more part to this question.
Okay.
And that would be my husband wants to give me a third. He wants another man to join us because I read a lot of mommy porn and we watch porn together and we talked about it. And I told him, I think he's just incredible for even wanting to be open to that. But I'm like. Can reality ever beat fantasy? And I'm going, because my husband's the only one that's ever been in my ass.
Right.
And so I don't know if that would happen, but then would I be able to be face to face with another guy when my husband's in the room? And how weird is that? So
yeah. I think that again, is it something that, do you want it to happen or it's more that he wants it to happen? I get that you fantasize about it. But is he the one who's like, let's do it? I want to watch that. Because there's some guys that are into that. But if you don't think that if you're like, when you're even thinking about it right now, you're not sure you can handle it, then you probably shouldn't. But if you, because we have fantasies.
Fantasy is so much better.
Yeah, well then you know what? You have your answer right there. A lot, because we can kind of discern. This is the thing about fantasies. There's some that we just want to have in our head and we don't want to ever happen. We're like, I never wanted that to happen. Or there's some that we're like, yeah, I can't wait for that to happen. Like the threesome with your husband and another woman. But if he's pushing for it and you're not so sure, you're not ready yet, or you might never be ready. But don't put yourself in that situation.
Okay,
that's
good.
Unless you want to. Okay,
he's pretty good. He doesn't push.
Okay, good.
He just wants to know that. If I was open to having a woman, which I am, I'm totally open to it, and I'd love to make that happen for him and everything. And he wants to reciprocate, and he wants to take me down to Vegas and get a professional. And
wow,
and I'm like,
well, I would see
he's awesome. But.
Yeah, no, it sounds like he's awesome. But if he's doing it for him or for you, it sounds like you're not so sure about it. So if you're not so sure, don't do it. Okay, really, until you're sure.
If you go to Vegas. Do the Aria Hotel or Cosmopolitan.
Have fun. Use protection. Let us know how it goes. I need to hear how this goes down. Thanks for
Absolutely.
calling.
And we love our Joe Lube, and I love my magic wand.
Oh, yay.
sweet.
Carrie, that makes me so happy. Thank you. Bringing on those
Yeah,
trips.
it's
Those
awesome.
those
Thank
travel
you.
well. Okay, bye. Okay, thanks. Bye.
Wow.
What's a threesome without some Joe Lube and magic wand? So many layers.
So many layers to that conversation.
You know, it's funny though, Menace. I really feel like threesomes are back. Like even yesterday I was talking to
They're
a
so
friend.
hot right now.
My married friend who like lives in the Valley, he called me. He's like, okay, I got a question for you. We have these neighbors. We're all friends. There's a group of like 10 of us, and we're all friends, like 10 couples or 7 couples. He says, and now we hear that this one couple, my wife was out for a girls' dinner, and they were all talking about how they are on some app and they're having a threesome. Like, is that real? People do that? I'm like, yeah. And I keep getting and not only that, our questions about threesomes have increased.
I know.
I don't know what it's about.
What is going
Anal's
on?
going down. We still have a lot of anal questions.
Yeah. It was just like,
I don't know.
what was it?
2017's
I know. What was it?
anal's a new blowjob, squirting's a new anal,
Squirting,
threesomes.
and then there was pegging, and now threesomes are just coming back.
Threesomes,
It's like
their mainstay. It's good though.
it's
Hey.
like throwback.
Throwback
It's crazy.
threesomes. Okay. It was crazy. This fun.
I love it.
Okay, we have Kelly on the line. She's 27 from North Carolina, and she wants to know how to make the jump from a friends with benefits relationship to a real relationship. Hey, Kelly. What's up? You're here with
Hey, Emily.
Hi. I'm with Menace today as well.
Hello.
So we both are here to
Oh,
help
I
you.
love Menace. Hey, Menace.
Oh, hey, how you doing?
How about that, right?
What's up to North Carolina? I feel like North Carolina is like always in the news now for like good
what?
and bad stuff. I feel like a lot of people have moved to North Carolina.
Really?
Yeah.
Kelly, do you feel like that? There's
Do
been
you
an
think-
influx of people from elsewhere more than other
I
times?
don't know. I know a lot of people who are moving away, so I guess it depends
Oh
on
no,
who you know.
they're coming in and out. But that's
Yeah.
great. So what's going on with you? What's happening?
So I'm not sure how much y'all read in the email, but
Just tell
I
us.
basically have a friends with benefits situation with someone who I've dated a couple times in the past. But moving into this, we explicitly talked to each other and we're like, we're never going to date again. This is just a physical thing and also friendship.
Mm-hmm.
And that's been working out pretty well so far. But I also did just starting dating someone new who I'm really excited about, and I feel like it could turn into something really serious. But he is a little slower in terms of getting physical with people, which is fine. I'm not in a rush, partly because I have my needs taken care of, right?
Oh, because you're the
So,
friends with benefits.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I guess my question is, like, the ideal for me in this situation would be if I could eventually transition to dating this new guy seriously, but I would also be able to maintain actual friends with benefits, and I wasn't sure if there were a really, like, a way that was the best to guarantee that moving into that, or whether that were even possible. So
I
if
don't
hear
think.
your thoughts.
Wait,
that would be
so
great.
your question is, how could you still stay just friends with your friends with benefits guy while moving into a relationship with someone else?
Yeah,
Or can you
and I
still-
talked to him about that explicitly, and he said that he would be fine, but, people can say things and not.
He's fine
Yeah.
until he gets
Not
another
really, no,
girlfriend.
no,
I
no.
mean,
Yeah.
the thing is, this is the tricky thing about friends with benefits is that it is, the benefits are sometimes that you have more emotions, you're more connected. It is a little bit more intimate. So it might be harder just to hang out and not have sex. I'm sure you have a real connection and a friendship in
Right.
there, but I think you'll just have to wait and see. But really right now, it sounds like you want a relationship. So you kind of might have to choose, but yay, some people just seamlessly move into friends.
What's going on with this guy? What do you think he's going so slow? I mean, and what have you done physically with him?
Okay. Well, I think the way that he explained it to me, because I asked him what pattern he tends to follow when he starts a new relationship, because I noticed it was going more slowly than what I was used to. He is actually an international student. He's getting he's getting a master's, and he's here from India. And he said that his experience is that it was a cultural thing, that he comes from a more traditional kind of culture, and that folks don't tend, at least in his community, to move fast when they start dating someone new. So he
Okay.
has made out some, but
How,
that's as far as it's gone.
right.
Oh, really?
But is it the kind of
Okay,
thing like
cool.
he wants to save sex for?
Because if you had sex with him already and he was telling you that, I was about to say he's full of shit. But
Right.
if you guys haven't if you guys haven't done anything other than making out, then I believe that he is telling the truth then
Right.
on
But
taking it slow.
Right.
Yeah.
Does he say how slow? Is he like, we have to
Yeah.
wait till we're committed or till we're married, or, what's the deal? You'll see. I mean, you'll
I
probably,
haven't clarified that with him, but
I would clarify.
I have such a good feeling about it that I don't feel like I necessarily need to ask yet.
well, that's
Yeah.
good. Then why don't you just write it out and see how it goes? And if it's not, remember, if it's not working for you, you're unclear, ask him.
How often do you hang out with him?
About once a week.
Once a week?
That's a
Yeah.
fair clip at the beginning.
And
Eventually, I
I
think it moves to 2, 3 days
Sorry?
a week. I said eventually probably move to 2, 3 days a week. So it sounds
Yeah.
like it's good. I think there's no problem here. But I think if you still see the other guy, the friends benefits guy and this guy, it could get confusing. So I would kind of end that one if you really want to move into a real relationship. Sometimes it can be hard to balance both of those things.
And maybe he's just,
Right.
believe it or not, like kind of shy too, and he's afraid to make other moves. I mean, do you know has he talked about any of his dating history at all of like past relationships? I know that's might be a weird discussion to have, or has he brought it up of like any past girlfriends or anything like that? Maybe he's like really new.
I have kind of got. I was asking when the last time was that he had dated, because he mentioned it had been a while. So I thought maybe that was part of why I was going more slowly. But it was someone he was with for 2 years, and that was
Okay.
like 2 years ago. So
All right.
Every culture is a little bit different
Yeah.
about sex. So you know, I think it's good that you already asked him what it was, and so now you know. But then if it continues to move slow, you just got to keep talking about it. But I think you're in a good place. It sounds like it. Maybe going slow would be
Okay.
good. I think actually people tend to go too fast sometimes. Get to know him. Get to see if there's someone you really like, rather than having it be all about sex.
Talking about going too
Talk
fast,
about
you
it.
hear
What?
like how I don't know. See, like because I do 2 different radio shows, so I have no idea if I discussed this with
when
this
you
with
date-
you or
yeah.
if I discussed it with the Woody Show.
Right.
But they were saying how people are now just straight up having sex now and then talking about maybe dating after. Because I mean, like
the
younger
because the apps and stuff?
the millennials or the younger crowd or whatever you want to call them these days they're just going for it and just hooking up and then like maybe we don't want to date,
Yeah.
dating later.
I've heard that. I've heard a
Whereas,
lot of
like,
different things, or they just don't even want a relationship, or they're like blacking out, and the
Yeah,
sex
yeah.
isn't very good. There's a lot of things research
going
with
on,
millennials. Yeah. Okay, let us know how it goes, Kelly.
yeah, keep on emailing us.
thank you.
Yeah, I think you sound like you got a good head on your shoulders about this. Of course, it's
No
so
problem.
fun.
You know
Bye.
how to contact us, but for the people that are listening and don't know, just go to sexwithemily.com and click on Ask Emily. All the contact information is right there.
Exactly, and you guys can send your questions. Select if you want to be called. We'll
Yeah.
call you.
Do all
It's
that
a
kind of
party.
stuff.
Yeah, that's good.
But what are the
interesting
things that we always ask though? Real quick.
Your name.
Your name.
Your
You don't have to
age.
give your real name. You definitely have to give your
Or
real
you
age.
have to give your age, where you live,
Mm-hmm.
how you listen,
Yes.
how much you like Menace.
No.
Yeah, that's
What were you going to say about before I
remember.
interrupted you rudely? I'm sorry. You're going to say about them moving slowly or
There's been a lot of discussion lately about millennials and sex, and a lot of books have been coming out and research,
Mm-hmm.
and it says that they're not actually having more sex, but they're not interested in relationships at all.
Mm-hmm.
They're not having sex necessarily any quicker either. So I don't know. I haven't heard that they're just having
Yeah,
sex
there was a
and then setting-
recent there's
there's so many things that are.
there's so
I'm
many
sure that's probably
different
true.
there's always like counter studies of everything under the sun.
I know that they don't
But
want to get in
then-
relationships. A lot of millennials,
Yeah.
and they are just doing whatever.
But I'm here
having blackout sex.
The recent study, wherever we got it from, it was saying that they're just hooking up on these apps, Tinder example or Bumble. They're hooking up and then figuring out later if they want to like date or not.
That tells you nothing if you have sex with someone like the first 5 minutes you know them. Like that
Look,
really doesn't tell you.
I'm not saying it makes sense, but that's
know.
what people are saying.
I mean, it could. There's people like, I slept with my husband on the first night. We've been together 20 years.
I
get
don't
it.
even know what the F is going on with younger people because they don't want to. I don't know what their drive is, and I'm not like making a blanket statement about every single young person because I know there's a lot of people that are listening that don't live this life, but there are some out there that are like they have no passion to like move out of their parents' house, like get a license or do anything. Like, what the hell is going on?
I think maybe more coddled, more taken care of, not really feeling like they have to go out and.
I know like 30-something year olds that go back to their parents' house that have their mom do their laundry. Like, what the hell
I don't
is
know,
that
dude. Do you
about?
think that's more than before? I feel like I used to hear those stories, but I've heard this now. But
I mean,
I don't know. I can't imagine.
I just felt like I know all my friends, they wanted to, their goals were to get a car so they can go out and take women out on dates and like just be out dating as much as possible. But now it's like people want to stay at their house and talk over the internet, and they feel like they're actually having a relationship.
They think that
they're not doing anything.
They're not doing anything. That they're living at home, or that's the other thing, is it's more about being online. They're not out socializing.
Yeah, but they feel like they're socializing.
They feel like it. They feel like they have all these friends because they're like us sitting on their couch and they've just contacted 1,000 people on their phone. But it's not real. It's not connection.
It's not.
And you're right. Living at home. I mean, I've had a job since I was 14 just so I could move to California, which I did the day I graduated from college. So I don't understand.
Sorry to go on a tangent about stuff that people already know, but it's just like,
not everybody knows everything. For example,
but if you are one of those people I'm talking about, like, come on, wake up, get out there, do stuff.
There's been a lot more calls, actually, a lot more emails and calls from people who are saying they live with their parents, they're not sure where to have sex, or they live with their parents, and they're not, it's like, well, maybe you should get a job.
Just get out.
Everyone can get a job.
I know there's going to be a part where you struggle. I know, like, you're living awesome, you don't have any worries, and we were talking about before the show. I know, before the show started, and it's just such a great representation of like what we went through in our 20s. Is so we're watching Girl Boss on Netflix, which is awesome because it's all about San Francisco, where you and I came up, and about like being broke and struggling and dating and stuff like that, and highly recommend it. It's
so good, and it's such a flashback.
But it's true to life.
It is.
It's like, hey, if you like hustle and you work, it will work out in the end, but you just got to take that leap and
trust yourself. You got to struggle. It's the struggle. Not only is the struggle real, but like the struggle is, I would never be here if I didn't struggle. So I look back on those times and those days of trying. I was like, I watched this because it's about the Sophia Amoroso, who started Nasty Gal, if you haven't seen it yet, which is a clothing company that actually just went bankrupt, but she still has a lot of success.
That's all.
I thought the whole company.
I don't know, but she's still worth hundreds of millions of dollars. True. So,
but the point is that she had this passion, and that's all she cared about. Like, she was doing her business, she had this idea, and she stuck to it, and she did it, and she made it happen. And I think, and I kind of remember looking at that, like that's all I talked about was sex with Emily. That's all I cared about. And it was the same year, 2006. I started. It was like this obsession. I would sit up all night with my papers all over my house, and my mom came to town and said, this is kind of scary. It looked like a beautiful mind with all the business plan all over the wall. And she thought I was insane. I should get a job at Starbucks because they have health plan, which I never did get a job at Starbucks. But sometimes you just got to follow your dreams. You do. It's going to be hard. But I look back on those times of the struggles. I'm like, God, I wouldn't be who I am, where I am now, if I didn't have that.
Thing is, I know as
sell my juicer and everything else I owned. As
a man and like all my guy friends, I know that we do all these things in the end goal. At least a large majority of us is to find a partner to share all that stuff with. It's like, oh, why are we talking about like growing the business and things like that? It's like where you feel good about yourself and you build the confidence where you project that out there and you find somebody that you want to be with. Yep,
that's right.
So
man.
At least that's what. At least that amongst the people that I hang out with, that's their goal.
Hold on a minute. I missed this. You're saying that their goal
to do all these things
is just to find a partner and get married?
Well, no, that helps.
Gives them the confidence for men. For a lot of men, they're driven to work in that way because they're like, then I can find someone I'll be more attractive and be the provider.
Yes.
Right, of course. And women, but I think that, women maybe aren't socialized in the same way, but I do believe that it's a different, I think that Sophia is a great example of that, of a woman kind of just taking care of herself and saying, I'm going to make this happen. So.
It's great. Check it out.
We love it. Okay.
Girl Boss, Netflix.
Okay. Girl Boss. It's awesome. Okay, our next call, we've got Nisha. She's 34 from Toronto. And Nisha and her partner are interested in anal, but she's a little scared. Wants to know where to start. Has some anal beads. How do you get the party started? Hi, Nisha. You're on with Emily and Menace. How you doing?
How are you?
Nisha, I have a quick question. It's a dumb question.
Go ahead.
When I call Toronto, is it just a regular area code or do I have to call like a bunch of funky numbers?
No, you just have to put one.
Oh, that's it?
Why did you want to text her after?
And then whatever.
No, I just want to know
Scandal, right.
I don't know.
That's a good question. Menace.
All I know is about America. I'm not really well traveled. The only place I've been outside of America is Mexico and Ireland. That's it.
Really?
Yep, that's
Toronto's
it.
really nice.
I want to go to
Toronto's
Toronto.
amazing.
I
Yeah.
heard it's great.
I used to go there all the time.
Oh, it
growing
is.
up.
I heard it's great for hooking up. Is that true or not?
Oh, I don't know.
You don't know?
I'm sure.
Well, you're asking about
sure.
anal. I'm sure there would be
She's with her
With
boyfriend.
my partner.
With
your
her partner. Yeah,
I
you
know,
should-
but I'm
Right.
sure he had some dating history in Toronto.
Yes, of course.
Okay,
this is
good.
the first time
But
that
right
I'm
now-
thinking about that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's talk about anal then. My dumb question is out of the way.
Great. Hi, Nisha. Tell me about the anal questions, exploration, where we're at. Tell me everything.
Okay, so we were interested. We went to a seminar. He was a little bit scared. I'm scared. So I got the guts to, we went to the store and we got, I bought one of those little anal beads.
Okay.
So we were trying a little bit, but we're not sure because first I'm thinking, I listened to you a lot and you were saying lube. But the lube that I got, it's a little bit icky. I'm not sure if it helped when I tried to use it. And I after was just like, okay, forget it. And then I was telling him about this podcast, and he's like, just call her. And I'm like, really? He's like, yeah, call her. And see what she
Awesome.
thinks.
See, we can break
Yeah.
this down so easily. So the thing is, I would say, so it's really a general anal sex question. I know you got the anal beads and all that, but if you've, here's the thing about anal sex is that you have to go slow and use lots of lube, but really you want to be turned on first. So it's not like he's flipping you over, just starting to play with your butt and then you're going. You should have sex like normal, have an orgasm, play with your clitoris, oral sex, however you get there, use some toys, because once you're turned on, once you've already had an orgasm, you'll be more aroused. And then with the thing about anal is that you really have to you got to breathe, because what happens is we're all nervous with anal, right, Menace? Every time he's about to get pegged, you get so scared.
Yeah, when I get pegged, I just clench up like crazy.
But it's your sphincter. Seriously, we do all the things that make it worse. So we hold our breath and we tense our butt cheeks. That's the sphincter muscles. So you actually have to breathe. Really, when you breathe, it opens up and you relax. So even when so I would, first of all, besides the anal beads, I would start with a finger. I would have him take his pinky finger with some lube on it when his fingers are clean and his nails are trim. And he should just start tracing his finger around the opening, around the outside of your butt, because that's where there's a lot of sensitive nerve endings just at the opening that can actually feel really, really good. And then, if you're comfortable, you're breathing, he can start to stick his finger inside. And I would just play with that for a few times and see how that feels before you rush into anal beads, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then just make sure it even feels good. And also, if you're a little, squeamish about it, you could do it during masturbation on your own. You can be like, I want to see what it feels like. Because the thing about anal beads, just when you get there, when you graduate to the anal beads, because I do tell people, try a butt plug first or try a finger. But anal beads work as well. They're a little more advanced because when they're inside
that's what I
of
was
you.
thinking. I go, that's pretty quick.
It's pretty
to start
advanced.
off.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It's just in the sense of you put them inside you, they don't feel anything. It's about pulling them out. So when you pull them out, the beads run over the sphincter muscles, actually. They run over them and you feel all these sensations. But I would just start with seeing if you actually like it and how it feels. But make sure that you're turned on first. Like I said, do foreplay, all that stuff. And be clean, shower. And again, we also have a ton of this stuff, anal sex preparedness preparedness kit on our website.
Another dumb question. Do you know Drake?
Funny story.
Yeah.
And I swear, when I was in high school, he was at my high school for a little bit.
No way.
Older than him. I swear to God. I was way older than him.
Yeah.
And he was this little trumpy little kid. I'm because he was famous because he was in this program.
Degrassi, right?
Right. So everybody was like, oh, whatever his name is, Aubrey. And we're like, okay, he's ugly. He's not cute.
Uh-huh. But now,
all of a sudden, he's Drake.
Now they act like they were all friends with him back then, huh?
Exactly, because my friend's like, oh, I wish I was talking to him because now I get tickets to go to his show and stuff. I'm like, okay, whatever. He's not cute.
Well, see, you never know. You gotta be nice to everybody.
Exactly. Be nice to everybody.
Shout out to Drizzy.
And use lots of lube. Oh, you already know that. Nisha, you're awesome. It was so good to talk to you.
Okay.
Good luck.
So
Go
much.
slow. No pressure on yourself.
Guys.
Okay.
All right,
You
good
too,
luck.
honey. Good luck. Bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye. What a great show. Anals, blowjobs.
Yeah.
What else?
Drake
Threesomes.
talk.
Drake.
We even
so
brought up
fun.
Ruth Chris.
Ruth's Chris Steakhouse.
Yeah.
Not a sponsor. Okay, Menace, thank you so
All right,
much.
It was great
You're
talking
awesome.
to you and everybody that called in. That was fun.
Yeah, that was really fun. And now we're on to your emails. Hey, Emily, I just started listening to you, and so far I really enjoy all the knowledge that you bring to the audience. I especially enjoyed the episode when you brought a bunch of ladies to the show. It really gave me a perspective of how different everyone is. My question is, I really have had a hard time approaching women in Canada because I am uncircumcised. From previous experiences and just listening to people talk about the subject, without them knowing that I am uncircumcised, they respond with, oh, it's disgusting, or I just can't go through with it types of answers. I also experienced a girl walking out at me as we were about to have sex because she realized I was uncut. I want to know what your opinion is on the topic. Should I be telling women that I'm uncircumcised before starting to date them or before starting to have sex so they're not surprised? Thanks, Josh, age 27, Canada. Oh, I'm so glad you asked this, Josh, because I think that the woman you're with, she did not deserve to be with you, the fact that she walked out. I think that there's not enough education around this, and it's seriously like no big deal at all. And you said you've overheard these conversations and you're in Canada. Canada's lovely people in Canada. Like, Canadians are like the nicest people in the world. But really, I think that, a lot of the world is uncircumcised. Sure, a young woman who's never seen one might be like, oh, I'm not sure what that is. But as far as someone leaving, so she was a bitch and she was going to leave anyway. I get really upset about this. Like guys being made fun of about like their penises. Like it's in fact, you don't have to tell them anything. I think it's healthy to have an uncircumcised penis. I think that the women are uneducated about it, which is why I'm here to help them understand that it's really not a big deal. And it doesn't affect a woman's pleasure at all. Just want to make sure that it's clean, like I'm sure you already do, because just like any, body part that has not been washed, it can contain bacteria. And I just think that, when you guys also can be more sensitive, women can actually have more pleasure from uncircumcised penises. So I really don't think that you need to be like, oh, by the way, I'm uncircumcised, like you're disclosing that you have an STD. Like it's totally like me saying, oh, I have, small breasts or big breasts or whatever. I don't know. I think that it's just not a big deal. I understand that it can be an issue, but it's not like you need to disclose it.
You're going to be okay.
You're fine.
You're
fine. She's with you. She's warm, but it's all good. But if you're together and she's like, oh, if she says like, oh, that's so cool, I've never been with an uncircumcised penis, then Josh, feel free to like, be like, oh, educate her. Tell her how you like it. Tell her how you like it touched. And, it's all, I think that'll be awesome. So don't trip on it, man. Hey, Emily. I'm Sarah. I'm 23 from Massachusetts. I have two questions that may seem like totally different ends of the spectrum. My boyfriend is 33 and we've been together about a year and a half. We have an awesome relationship, and when we have sex, I have no complaints, but I want it more than he does. And ironically, I have the worst time initiating. I can't get out of my head and just jump into it. Sometimes I lay there thinking, I want to have sex, just say it, and I can't get it out of my mouth. How do I get over this? It's so weird because I've never been shut down. I don't think I'm scared of that. I don't know what my problem is, but it's really frustrating. But lately we have sex. We've also wanted to try toys, and I'm really excited about that. So what do you suggest for a great internal, external toy for us to start with? Thanks so much. Love this show. Okay, Sarah, age 33, Massachusetts. Okay, Sarah, so it's like, I love this because the only problem here, which is the good news, is you and your mind. You're tripping yourself out, and I get it because don't think you're afraid of rejection, but I think it just seems awkward. Like I think if we don't have the practice to be like, hey babe, like I want to have sex, that you're nervous. So the more that you do it, it's going to get easier. And really, just some of the easy tips for this are like, first of all, if you're not sure how to do it, you could send a sexy text like, babe, when you get home, like I just want to bang you, or something more graphic or more intimate between the two of you, like whatever.
I want to get it on.
I want to get it on. Let's get it on.
I would like to make love to you.
I would like to make sweet, sweet love to you. I think you just got to say it. You can send a text. You could just do actions. What if you just start making out with them? Like, don't you think that with guys, like make out with them, like grab his pants, like grab. For women, initiative. We don't want to be grabbed in our boobs or our genitalia. But for guys, grab him, kiss him, start kissing his neck.
Be aggressive. At least I support that.
Right.
Some guys might get weirded out by that, but you know what? They're a puss.
Right. You just got to say it. And also, we have a great blog that just came out, which is so perfect. The Initiation Game, 4 tips for taking the lead. You can check that out on the website.
Take the lead all day.
Yeah, all day. Ladies. And then you won't even remember that you never took the lead. It's just like everything else in life. It's a new skill. Toy recommendations. Oh my God. Okay. It's so hard. It's like picking my favorite child. Internal and external toy for us to start with. Together. I think that, I love the We Vibe. The Wish is my new favorite. It's a, It's like a internal external toy. It's just a great toy to use during intercourse. It stays
You've been obsessed
in your hand.
with the Wish.
It's squishy and soft, and it vibrates, has all these really cool patterns, and you could use it it's really easy to use during intercourse. I love the G ring that you put on your finger, like I was saying earlier. I think that for couples toy, you could also use the WeVibe Sync. That's a great couples toy to wear during intercourse. If you like penetration and you want, I think the Rave or the Nova, these are all WeVibe toys. I do love WeVibe. The Rave or the Nova are great toys for G-spot stimulation, and you can control them on an app. They're really cool, and they're great. I think you'll both like them. Cock rings are also great. Oh God, WeVibe has a new cock ring coming out. Am I allowed to say that? But it's not here yet.
No.
It's amazing.
You're leaking information.
Sorry, don't tell anyone. But penis rings are great. You can go by that because they're also, here's the thing about penis rings, that you wear them, you can use them as a clitoral vibe, you can use them as a Fitbit. Just kidding. You could. Yeah, he's wearing it, it vibrates, you get on top with your clitoris like you ride with top or bottom. It's a great toy. Use lots of lube, and I think you initiate because he comes home and you've got you've got all your toys laid out or something. What should she do? I was thinking about what toy would be great to greet him at the door. Oh, I know. Here's the thing. You guys could, if you get one of these WeVibe toys that are connected to the app, you could send him, you can message and text through the app, so you can let him know that you're starting to use the toy. When he gets home, you're already using the Rave or the Nova. That's a fun thing to do. There we go. We just solved the whole thing at once. Okay. Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Menace.
Thank you. Oh, I had a quick story before I...
you have a story? Tell me.
I have a story. So I was going to Coachella, and in Burbank, California, they have a jet service called Jet Suite X, and it's like these little private jets, right? But it doesn't cost a lot of money. It's actually cheaper than Southwest sometimes. So it's sometimes $79. So I get on this jet, and I'm flying to Coachella, and I go sit down, and there's a girl sitting in my seat. And I look at her, and it's Ashley Tisdale,
really?
Who was the producer of Misadvised, which the Bravo show.
We did a show on Bravo, yeah.
Bravo, right? And then she's like, "Oh, sorry, can I have this seat with my husband?" And I said, "Sure, no problem, Ashley." And she was surprised, even though she's pretty famous. She was surprised that I knew who she was. And I go, "Oh, by the way, I got to be on a couple episodes of Misadvised, and I just want to thank you for the opportunity." And she was totally shocked.
Did she remember you from the?
I look totally different,
right?
Oh, I'm sure she watched it. She put a bunch of money behind it.
Right, that's a terrible thing to say.
Yeah.
Right.
So, but yeah, so I got to thank her for the opportunity, and it was pretty cool. And they're like, "Oh, that's such a small world." And then I saw her again at a party.
Really? Was she like, "Yo, Menace, what's up?"
No. But I was just but she was really, really cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. That was a fun show.
Yeah, so it was funny.
Oh,
it was just
sweet.
funny.
That is funny. You texted me that, and I was like, "Where are you?" You're like, "I'm on a plane."
I'm on a plane.
I'm on a plane with Ashley Tisdale. That was cool.
But it was so random that she was sitting in my seat.
That is random. That's funny. It was meant to be. Meant to be. I was going to say, it's cool. People want to ever check out Misadvised and see what we did there.
Yeah, there's still clips online on the Bravo website.
Yeah, and you can also get it on
iTunes.
iTunes for $4.99.
Yeah,
called Misadvised.
download it.
It came out in 2013, 12.
I don't even
those
remember.
were good times doing television with you, Menace.
It was good.
But that's a good story. I'm glad you're here, safe and sound. For Masturbation Month.
Yes.
The plane, all that stuff. Okay, everyone. Thank you, Menace. Find him at Menace and listen to him on The Woody Show.
The Woody Show.
Thanks, everybody. Thank you to my amazing team. Thank you to Ken, Helena, producer Lark, Jamie, and Michael. And thank you to all my listeners and all of our new listeners and new subscribers.
Yeah.
It's just been taking off the show. So thanks for telling your friends and your family and all that stuff. And thanks, everyone, for listening. Was it good for you? Email me, feedback@sexwithemily.com.